We didn't land on the moon, gravity doesn't exist, and the Earth is flat. Just a few of the extraordinary claims of the men and women who call themselves the Flat Earthers.
So what else do we believe that they say just isn't true? Three people that would go to the end of the Earth, whatever shape it is, to prove their theory are Gary Heather, Darren Nesbitt and Martin Kenny. And welcome, gentlemen. Nice to see you. Well, you know, there's lots to get through here. The Earth is flat. Why do you say that?
The evidence that we've seen doesn't suggest that what we've been told is true.
What evidence have you seen?
Well, I personally have been to Lake Balaton with FE Core, and we've actually done a laser test from one end of the lake to the... Well, didn't do the full lake because it's massive, but we did a 12-kilometre test, and we could actually see the laser from one end to the other, and since then the guys have actually produced a 40-kilometre laser test. So
this guy with a laser debunks all the pictures, We've got live pictures now from the space station, which we'll come to in a moment, because you say that also doesn't exist.
You can clearly see the curve of the Earth
There's the curve there. All of the things that we now are led to believe. One guy with a laser, and you say the Earth is flat.
No, it's not. That's the only thing. It's just an example of some of the experiments.
So, Darren, you were sceptical at first, weren't you? So you thought...
I think it's right to be sceptical about alternative views, but what we never are is sceptical about the mainstream view that we're told since we're children. Over and over again, it's programmed into us.
So what finally convinced you, then?
Well, it took me 6 months. I was sceptical for the first 6 months. And there are a couple of main things. One is water always finds level. So in our own experience in natural physics, you have a cup of tea or a swimming pool or a lake, water is level. But we're led to believe that, the Earth is supposed to be 70% water, so at some point water starts curving around a ball. Now, obviously, the answer to that is the magic of gravity.
Yeah.
Now, I believe gravity exists, but only as an effect, not as a cause. So science itself has never proven gravity as a force itself. What is proven is 9.8 metres per second squared is the near constant rate of acceleration towards the Earth over the Earth.
What is happening here?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know, and science has never proven that as a force. Obviously, they have proven it is observable science that things accelerate at the same rate. Yeah, but
and that we're stuck to the ground.
Nobody knows what is actually causing it, and scientists themselves will tell you.
So Sir Isaac Newton got that wrong, did he? Did he just get that completely wrong?
Well, I don't think he particularly got it wrong. I think we're told a lot of truths, but possibly not full truths.
But why? Why has somebody decided to make up a load of stuff? What would be the benefit of them doing that?
Well, it's difficult to say because I don't know. I don't know why people do the things that they do. What I do know is what I can test, what I can observe, and what I can come to using the resources that I have. So I know for a fact, after 2 years of research, that I'm not upside down ever. I'm not spinning. Water seeks to find its level, etc., etc. But I know that as a fact.
Isn't that like the childhood thing where you go to Australia? How come I'm still stuck to the Earth? I'm standing on my head. Yeah. I mean,
absolutely,
that's just so childish.
It is an emperor's new clothes type of thing where we have stopped believing what we've been told is the model in our heads. Yeah. But what we have started doing is accepting what our own senses are telling us, and our own senses, the inner ear is very, very finely tuned, and we know that we are absolutely stationary.
What about someone like Brian Cox? Is Brian Cox a liar?
I mean, you'd never call somebody, outright a liar. But is he mistaken? Absolutely. But are most of the world, or 99%, of people mistaken? Yes.
This is what Brian Cox had to say about the flat Earth theory.
Put aside the fact that we've taken photographs of it, and you can see a horizon. And not only can you see the horizon, but you can see things move behind the horizon or in front of the horizon, depending on the height that you choose to look at the things. You see, I'm lost for words. It's probably the most nonsensical suggestion that a thinking human being could possibly make. It is drivel.
So that's from a scientist.
He was, and he said something very interesting there. He said it's nonsensical, and we say that's actually not true. What our own senses tell us is that the Earth is stationary.
But nobody's fallen off the edge of it.
Nobody has fallen off the edge of it.
At what point do you fall off the edge?
Can I just respond to what Brian said there? He said things disappear behind the curve, and one of the main reasons why we believe that the Earth is a fixed stationary plane is because things aren't disappearing as quickly as they should be. We can see cities and mountains and islands 40, 60 or 100 miles. The world photography distance record is 273 miles, right? And we can see the tips of the Pyrenees from the south of France, and you shouldn't be able to see it.
You can't see the base of them.
Well, of course not.
Because the Earth is round.
Not because of the Earth is round, and because of perspective, and because of the way light works, and because of the way our eyes work.
We interviewed on it. One of the highlights of my career, actually, was interviewing Major Tim Peake up in space on the International Space Station.
Right.
Now, he brought in his beautiful book. You see the curvature of the Earth. You very clearly see that it's a circle. So are you telling me that this interview with him, I'm talking to somebody that's just made that up or wasn't actually there?
Yeah, he's not.
He's not in outer space. Where is he then?
In a Hollywood studio type.
Not necessarily
environment.
Hollywood
Maybe
studio,
here.
but...
Maybe where we are now.
But
really?
So you're saying that Tim Peake is alive?
Well, I mean, if you look at Tim Peake and people like Neil Armstrong and all the astronauts, they're all military guys. If you look at them, they're all military. They're not scientists.
No, they're not. No, they're not. 230 individuals from 18 different countries have visited the space station. They were not all military. Some were teachers. We've met some of them, ordinary people. Are all 230 people liars?
Can we just end this debate by saying...
No way can we.
We've got a beautiful globe over here.
It's been going for quite some time.
We've got a fantastic globe over here, right? I'm going to ask ISS, NASA, whatever, to zoom out of the Earth right now and show us planes, right, from a distance, let's say 233,000 miles away, because we've got the technology.
A bit like that.
And let's show aeroplanes flying upside down underneath here. Let's zoom to show people walking upside down. Let's do that, and we will... I'll come back here and apologise.
The space station can't zoom out to 230. It can't zoom out to beyond where...
So can we get a probe out? Can we get a probe out?
We've done that.
It's only 250
of the whole Earth and showing aeroplanes flying upside down underneath the globe? Can we see that?
All we see is CGI.
There are apps that can show you that.
What, aeroplanes flying upside down?
Live?
No.
Wow.
Yes, there's the live positioning of all the aeroplanes on the world.
Right,
They're
but
on there.
not an actual... Because the Hubble telescope sees very, very deep into space, doesn't it? So what we're asking NASA to do here and now on live television is turn that telescope round, zoom in on the Earth, right, and show us live pictures of people walking on the side, and underneath.
These pictures are live now.
These are...
You want them to zoom in and see actual people.
You want to see the whole Earth.
And zoom in.
Actual people.
That's what military satellites do. They zoom in and target.
So can we see it?
Have you watched a science fiction film that looks quite real?
Science fiction.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Science fiction. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to lay down a gauntlet now. We had a debate at the weekend with three lovely physicists. Two of them are going for their PhD. One of them has got their PhD.
Yeah.
We are now laying down the gauntlet to Brian Cox, and I would love to have a few actors involved, like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye. We love actors, so if they can come along as well, that'd be great. And we'll debate them.
Absolutely.
We'll get our team around the world. Some people would say around the globe, but that's just ridiculous. But around the world, and we'll actually debate them anywhere they choose. All we've got to do is ask you to help set up.
Can you answer me a question? Because I have personally seen with my own eyes the curvature of the Earth.
Is he lying?
Is it the circle vision of your
sight?
Is it the circle limit of your sight? Because obviously the limit of our eyesight...
I was very lucky, and I went on Concorde. So I was very lucky I went on Concorde. So that's 60,000 feet. You could clearly see the curvature of the Earth.
What's the shape of the windows?
Actually, science...
it was the shape of the window.
No, I didn't say that. I said, what was the shape of the windows, is what I said.
Like an oval?
Scientists themselves tell us that you have to be 50 miles up to be able to see the curvature of the globe. An average commercial plane travels at 7 miles, which is around 33,000 feet.
Which Concorde wasn't.
You were about 10 or 12 miles, so it's still, again, way below what scientists themselves tell us.
Oh, I've got so many questions. We're going to have to end this. I'm really sorry. I really want to ask you, but hold on. We will. We can continue. But we asked a poll. You've got a long way to convince our viewers, I'm afraid. Do you think the Earth is flat? No, say 94% of you, but 6%...
That's probably about right. All I'd say is go research it for yourself. There is a wealth of material online. Have a look.
We're living in the age of technology. There's no excuse anymore.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Although the Greeks saw the shadow on the thing, they didn't.
If you are interested,
yes, we are.
I bet there is.
If you are interested, the space station is currently off the coast of New Zealand.
Or is it?
And it will. If you want to, I mean, you know, when I've watched it pass over the top of us, and you know, you see, I've seen it, the light. I've seen the light as it passes above.
Have you seen a train track that, as you go into the distance, it disappears? Are you telling me that they're now disappearing into nothing?
We are going to have to stop it here, otherwise we're never going to find out what happens to our bees.
Next time?
No, because you're all bonkers.
Right.